If you were to ask me what's my favorite part of Micromasters, especially G1 Micromasters, I think I would be very tempted to say the stations, the bases. And we've looked at 3 out of 4 of the actual Micromaster stations in the past, and it's about time we look at the last one, that being the gas station, or service station if you will, with Decepticon Greasepit in the latest GotBot True review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and while you're at it, that's right, hit the notification bell because it'll let you know when all sorts of new content goes up. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers, Collectors NL, the Autobot family, and me everywhere. And this is the gas station with Greasepit. And it's funny because Greasepit is actually a reuse, and well, not a remold, but a reuse of one of the members of the Off-Road Patrol that's not getting an update in the Siege line, at least not yet. So it'll be interesting to look at the little figure, even though he's not the star of the show. The star of the show is this gas station that's much more than just a gas station. Let's head over to the table and take a look at all this. So in the last little while, we have been covering a lot to do with the G1 Micromasters. In fact, we've also covered a lot to do with Siege Micromasters as of late. And when I was kind of looking at, what pieces I still wanted to cover, I realized that I had not done one of the stations yet, if you will. I know I've looked at the 2 Autobot ones, being Hothouse with the fire station and Ironworks with the construction station. In fact, I looked at Hothouse in episode 565 and I looked at Ironworks in episode 530 a long time ago. So that's the 2 Autobot ones out of the way. Then I looked at the airport with Airwave in episode 557. And Airwave is one of the Decepticon stations partnered with this guy. And this guy is Greasepit with the gas station. And the gas station probably has the most bits and pieces of all of these. We're going to begin and look at Greasepit first. And here we have the little monster truck known as Greasepit, and he rolls not that great. His back tires are kind of, I don't know, pegged in too tight, I suppose, pinned in too tight. He is actually a reuse of the Mudslinger mold. Mudslinger, of course, is part of the G1 Off-Road Patrol. So this is like the Decepticon version of that Autobot. Of course, the Off-Road Patrol is getting an update in the Siege line. We haven't taken a look at that yet here on the channel, but this character, the mold of this character, is not getting such an update. All we're getting is high jump and powertrain. Who knows? So drink this mold in while you can. Greasepit he's fine, I guess. I wish he rolled a bit better, but I'm sure that it's just this copy of it where he happens to have the back tires pinned in just a little more tightly than he probably should. Okay, so to transform this guy, we flip down. We should be able to. There we go. Wow, they're kind of tight. We flip down that leg and should be able to flip down this leg. This leg over here is held up. I'm going to get it down and then we'll go on because I don't want to stress it. This isn't mine. It belongs to a good friend of the channel, Wayne. Sorry about that little cut, but that was very tight. It might even be swollen with the humidity here today. I could believe that. At this point then you just bring his little arms forward, his little stubby arms, and his head just flips up. It's very simple transformation. His arms can go all the way around. He can get in a seated position. The knees are like joined, but the lower legs are 2 independent pieces, so you can bend one knee at a time, as you saw. He is one of the better Micromasters. I just wish that the tires weren't pinned quite as tightly as they are. And again, maybe that's due to swollen plastic from humidity. I don't know. I love his color. So in terms of articulation, it's average 5, 6. Actually, it's the better end of average. We're going to say 7. In terms of the colors, I don't know, 10. Why not? It looks fine. And in terms of transformation, it's very logical. Should be very simple, where you just flip down the legs, kind of fold out the arms and flip up the head. I'm going to say that for what it is, again, if you don't like it, it's a 1. If you like it, it's a 10. I'll give it kind of a middle of the road type of score as a 6 or a 7. Overall, as far as a Micromaster goes, Greasepit is about a 7. But he's not the star of the show. No, the star is the base. Speaking of the base, here it is in its inconspicuous gas station mode. We could, of course, using this kind of connector over here, we could bring in another Micromaster base. I'm not going to push it down, but you get the idea that this would connect on there. And now we have the 2 Decepticon bases connected. See? Decepticon, because here's Airwave, right? Decepticon Airwave and Decepticon Greasepit, right? But we could take that out of it, and we could have it be Autobot over ear. Now, yes, this is the Siege update, but Autobot over ear and Decepticon Greasepit. I think when I looked at the Micromaster Siege 10-pack, I may have mistakenly said that Airwave wasn't Autobot and Over Air was an Autobot. No, Airwave was a Decepticon and Over Air was an Autobot. You can go back and you can check that out for yourself. I looked at the entire Siege Micromaster 10-pack in comparison with their G1 counterparts, at least where possible, pretty recently in episode 576. Now, if I'm being fair with full disclosure here, I haven't converted this in a long time. In terms of the paint apps and whatnot, there's actually a lot of stickers here, so I mean it is what it is. The conversion though is definitely interesting. I hope that I could do this kind of without messing things up. We shall see as we go. But I think we begin by, we begin by opening this out and turning these around so we don't have the kind of empty back, waffly back or whatever, facing up. I think you're supposed to take this out, but we can leave it there for now. We can turn those facing that way, and then we kind of tip the whole thing up like this. It's back on. I'm going to turn it around so that we can keep going. Okay, so moving onward from here, we can open this up. You can leave the piece on the back there if you're so inclined. You don't have to, but I mean, you can. We pick this radar dish, I guess, up. We bring this forward. It's the it's a rocket, I guess. And we fold this forward, and we can even aim those 3 rockets up if we're so inclined, and we could take Greasepit and I don't know, let's put Greasepit in here manning the station. I think that this is one of the coolest stations. It changes so much. Now, like I said, the gas station sign, I guess you could probably take that out of it. You can move this kind of all around. It's just pegged in there, it can come out. You can leave the ramp on the back if you want, or of course you can take it off. This piece up here, does this move? Not really. These 3 move up all as one piece, and this, I'm going to call it anti-aircraft cannon blaster thing. It too can move all around because it's just pegged in. A lot of parts here that just peg in. Transformation, honestly, is involved for such a small little base. It's one of the better ones, I think. It's definitely better than the airport, for example, I think, in my estimation. And honestly, the hardest part of dealing with these little Micromasters and their bases is trying to keep track of who's Autobot and who's Decepticon. On the left, we have the 2 Autobot stations, being the fire station and the construction station, as well as the little, I don't know, mobile bases. On the right, we have the 2 Decepticon stations, being the airport and the gas station, as well as a couple of little Decepticon mobile bases. Rough Stuff, I think, and Flat Top, if I'm not mistaken, are the Micromasters that come with that truck and plane. I don't know, but nevertheless, this is looking like a little Micromaster community, so to speak, of battle. I don't know, little Micromaster battle community. I am sure that along the way here, I have messed up who is Autobot and who is Decepticon. Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. But it's because it changes depending on the continuity you follow. That's where the confusion comes in. But nevertheless, like, all of these look cool together. Like, they were fun way back, you know, at the end of the 80s and the early 90s, and they're still super duper fun today. And here we are once again, and as you can see, the interconnectivity and interplayability of these little stations and their Micromasters was, and really still is, pretty fantastic. The way that all of those went together there, yes, there was an Autobot town and Deceptiville, but like, they look good. If I had them kind of filled up with Micromasters, it'd be a fine display. Nothing wrong with it. I love these little bases, and I think that this one is one of, if not the most interesting, versatile, and certainly defensible. I like Greasepit. He's a fun little mold, even if that one leg was kind of tight, but I love the base and everything it can do. I think it's one of the strongest from the entire line. But, of course, the Micromaster stations aren't the only type of bases that we have. No, and we're going to delve into that a little bit more coming up. But I'll let you think on it for now. Again, let me know what you think of these little bases. Which one of the four is your favorite? You know, I love to hear from you guys. I appreciate you giving me some of your very valuable time. I know, man, how important it is to you. I know. Trust me. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donation link down in the description. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together, either in the live streams or right here inside the videos.